Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife video for you. Today we have another top 10 list. This is my top 10 most underrated knives that you can buy right now. I had to specify that you can buy right now because if I just did of all time or whatever, I would never be able to figure out the list. I could do probably a top 20 just of discontinued knives that were great and shouldn't have been discontinued. So these are all ones that you can buy right now because sometimes things are so underrated that they get discontinued. So these are all ones you can still get right now. I made sure to make sure that was part of the list. Some of them are actually fairly new and I just don't think are getting the attention that they should deserve. A lot of them have been out for a long time and just kind of forgotten about. These are in no particular order, but let's get going. First up, we have a fairly new one, but one that I just think deserves a lot more attention is the Spyderco Native Chief. In their large, 4-inch and up size backlock range, of which they have several, I just think it's the best one. Have since the first day I put it in my hand. Never really liked the Endura, never really cared for the police or the military much. I love this thing. It is a big old sucker, $168. It's not exactly a value. Spyderco obviously has not given up on it because they have done a sprint run of it. There's a Rex 45 and stuff of it. So it's definitely not like going to go anywhere, but I just think you should pay more attention to this knife. I just think it's really, really good in these larger versions. 4-way adjustable clip that a lot of the others don't have. Good construction, gold in Colorado. It's just, I like this one a lot better than the Endura and the ones like that. Next up, again, these are in no particular orders. We have the Besttech Texel. This is one that I underrated, I think, subconsciously. I did hold this at Blade Show last year. I handled one of the prototypes. I thought it was amazing. I couldn't wait for it to come out, and then I kind of forgot to keep an eye out for it, and Besttech didn't make a lot of noise when they launched it in October. And then I finally got one early this year, and it's a really great knife. It would have been on my top 10 budget knives of the year if I would have remembered that it existed and gotten one. But so now it's making it my mission to make sure that people don't forget that this exists. $52 D2. As you can see, the action is smooth as glass. I love the sheep's foot blade. The ergonomics are excellent. And a $52 knife, this is pretty close to flawless. You should definitely go check one of these out. Next up, it's a well-regarded knife by people who remember that it exists, but they come up with a whole bunch of other models all the time. People forget. You don't forget if you're on this channel because it is the Cold Steel American Lawman, because I have the song and everything. S35VN, $95. This is one of the older XHP ones with a hollow ground blade. Now they are flat ground with S35VN, but still perfectly fine. It does use that kind of dual clip system. If you're right hand or left hand, it has two different clips that you can swap out, so make sure you don't throw the box away when you get it, because maybe a lefty will want it someday. But the action on this one is pretty good. It's broken in really well. I've obviously had it for a long time. And even in the flat ground blade, it's still super slicey, and the ergos are just outstanding, both in and out of the pocket. It's very slim. Love the American Lawman. I gotta do the song. I keep having to do it. It's the law now. The Lawman. Law. But I love the American Lawman, and I just think that it gets overlooked for other cold steel models like the Code 4, which is also great, but I'd hardly call that underrated. I just think people forget about this little thing. One of my absolute favorites. Next up, this is a knife that I also underrated because I had one and I sold it, and now I got another one back, and I'm very happy about it. And that is the Knives Malice, a fairly new model from Fair & Forge, came out last year, and it's just one that doesn't get talked about when people talk about the really cool designs, and I think it's one of the best. It is a bit heavy and a bit pricey. $283 for this Flame Anno version, which is the one you want. It also just does come in a plain titanium, but look at that Flame Anno. It's so good. Nice Fair & Forge design. Fair & Forge told me that it was basically, we wanted a big burly American style folder, like ZT style, that they nailed it with this. It definitely is that. I love the ergos, very slicey blade, awesome steel. I believe it's 20 CV. I can't remember if it's 20 CV or M390. I don't remember now off the top of my head. But gorgeously made knife. I just wish it was a little lighter. There's no milling whatsoever on the inside of it. They could have milled it out a little bit, made it a little bit lighter, but other than that, just an awesome knife that just no one ever mentions when they talk about their favorite Wiis. Now, next up, this is one that I think is very, very, very highly underrated. Another one that came out almost 2 years ago now. And everybody wanted one. And then now nobody talks about it, but they're still making them. The Besttech Malware, Todd knife and tool design. Again, pretty large blade on this. You were looking at, yeah, good full 4 inches. Kind of scary looking Warren Cliffy blade, but I like it a lot. And it doesn't look like it would have great ergos, but it absolutely does. Definitely my favorite ergonomics of any of the Todd knife and tool knives that have come out. The action is just silly good. And they're not horribly expensive. $196, not too bad. You can do all the cool, fun stuff with it. I'm really, really enjoying this knife. This is one that I've never even once considered selling. I just like it that much. It's just a really, really great knife. And another one that probably, if you're a long-time watcher of this channel, I think a lot of you guys that watch this like this knife, but still a lot of people don't take a shot on them. And that would be the Southern Glide SpiderMonkey. S35 VN, roughly around $200, depending on what kind of scale material you get. You can get, this is the carbon, they do a G10, they do a copper. It's just a very sturdy, really excellent EDC size knife. I love the ergos on it. Didn't like the clip at first. I had put a Benchmade clip on it. Eventually took it off and put the standard one back on again, because I grew to kind of like it. So it very sharp out of the box. They do a really good job, and what a great company. Run by the country star Zach Brown. He donates most of the profits to it back to his charity that he runs camps for sick kids, and stuff. I mean, that's pretty great. So, got to check out a SpiderMonkey. They're just a great freaking knife. I think this may be, if I was doing a 1 through 10, this might have been the number one. Because people say, I'm still shopping for a knife and whatever the side range, and this price range, they never mention the SpiderMonkey. Next up, we go to a couple of much more budget options. The QSP Parrot. I've always loved this thing. I've had this for quite a while now. They come in a bunch of different colors. It's $21 and 440C steel, and they're super sharp. It's a very slicey blade. I love the blade profile. I love the ergos. I love the way it carries. I love the action on it. I love that it's not a flipper. They're just awesome. For a first knife, or for a knife just to use to give away to family members and stuff, these are fantastic. I've purchased several of these and given them to people. I used to actually kind of keep a few around to give to people, but I don't do that as much anymore. Next up would be the Tangra Santa Fe. These are about $25 on Amazon. I could not find one right now when I was looking, but I know there's still a bunch of other Tangra models out there. Almost any of the Tangra models qualify in this, so if they did discontinue the Santa Fe, which I don't think they did, just pretend I'm talking about another Santa Fe model, because they make, or Tangra model, because Tangra makes so many cool knives. This is a division of Kaiser, but they're only available online. They just don't get promoted that much, and they came out with a whole bunch of models a couple years ago when they first started, and then they just kind of stopped introducing new models. But they're always still out there in Amazon. But any of them are an outstanding value. They come in really awesome packaging. I couldn't lay my hands on the box for this one. I would honestly be showing it to you. It comes with a little origami project and stuff in it. They're really, really cool. Nice deep carry clip on this one. This is definitely my favorite Tangra that they ever made. And if it is gone, I don't feel very bad about that. But almost all their models are the Japanese Akuto steel, which I've had really good luck with. Holds a great edge. They're all very thin and slicey. Definitely go check out Tangra. The only problem you're going to have is they're only available on Amazon, and I know if you live in New York, I can't order them anymore. So New York, or they just decided that they're not shipping them to New York. So that's really annoying, because they are perfectly 100% legal. Next up, we have another fairly new one, and one that I've talked about a fair bit on here since I got it. This is the SOG Terminus, specifically the S35 VN version. There is a D2 version for around $50. You can find lots of really good D2 knives for that price, but $79 an S35 VN and an Able Lock, that's pretty rare. The Able Lock is their version of the Axis Lock now that the patent has expired. Multiple ways to open it. Really nice looking blade, just really in general, really nice looking knife. A lot of people really hate that pocket clip. It doesn't bother me that much, but yeah, I wish it was normal, but I think it's kind of cool. but the action is amazing. They're just really, really good knives. I have this and I have the D2. Action is equal on both of them. Really good knives that just, again, nobody considers when they're looking at something in this price range. They just go and buy a mini grip. No, go buy this. I actually did a comparison video about that. So yeah, buy this. Don't buy the base mini grip. Go buy this. And lastly, this probably would have made the list at its old price, but now they've dropped down to only $100. That would be the TJ Schwartz designed Perpetua, made by Millet Knives, sold by Drop. Always liked this thing even at the old price. Now at $100. Nitro V Steel, again, an axis lock variant. I can't remember what they call theirs. The action is silly smooth on these. They come in this gray or a green. Kind of blocky look, but they're actually pretty good ergonomically. I've been really enjoying the Perpetua. This is another one that I got rid of, and then somebody gave me one for my birthday, so I'm very, very happy to have one back again. And I won't be letting this one go. It's just a really, really good knife. And the Nitro V Steel is unique. So, yeah, that would be my top 10 most underrated knives that you can buy right now. I am sure you are going to have others of your own suggestions, and that is fine. This video is intended to encourage discussion, so comment down below what your choices would be. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.